Hi guys, Hamster here. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys find gear like this crazy? Does this look like something a rational person would have? I think most people out there would say, no, this is reasonable. This is useful equipment. And if any of you have started taking classes and improving your skills, you guys would know that equipment like this is mandatory equipment for any class. A magazine pouch, a holster, maybe not these particular ones, but gear like this. Firearm has been safety checked. Practice good gun safety. We're not going to get into it here. So a holster and a magazine is common sense equipment. Need a way to carry my firearm. I need a way to supply my firearm. So if that's not crazy, which I don't think it is, I think this is the minimum you should have if you own a pistol. You should have plenty of spare magazines, more than you think you'll need. You should have a holster, a way to carry that weapon. Magazine pouches, a way to supply that weapon with the ammunition that it needs. A way to carry it on you safely and effectively. I'm really not talking about this tonight. What I want to talk about is magazine pouches for your rifle. And there we get into the thing that most people find a little crazy. That is the chest rig. What is the purpose of a chest rig? Or load bearing equipment, or a vest? Its main purpose, it has one main job. Just like the pistol mag pouch we looked at a second ago. One main job, and that is to carry magazines to support your weapon, which in this case is your rifle. So if you own a pistol mag pouch, do you own any kind of way to carry magazines for your rifle? And I know a lot of people, I've run into a lot of people that are reluctant to get slings or any kind of system to carry magazines for the rifle. And I think it has to do with the normalcy biases. Because if you think about stuff like this, you buy stuff like this, you train with stuff like this, then you got to admit there's not a potential one day that you'll need stuff like this. And I think a lot of people can't deal with that. So they choose not to deal with it, put their head back in the sand. I don't want to think about it. So if I don't have anything like this, then nothing real bad will happen. But yet I find it interesting that they buy a rifle and you ask them, well, why do you have that? In case things go bad and I got to defend myself, my house, my family, my property. But they don't want to have any way to support it. Or they go in the argument, I can't afford it. Chest rigs are real expensive, and I admit they can get very, very expensive. I mean, there's some beautiful stuff here from like a BDS Tactical. Great catalog. There's some really sweet stuff. Chest rig here, $325. You know, $200. It's real easy to drop a lot of money in a heartbeat on a chest rig. So can you buy a piece of equipment from one of the manufacturers, buy their low-end basic starter kit? Will that work? And can I build on that? Is it worth my time to buy an affordable $50 to $70 chest rig and work on that? Well, I say you can. I say there's a lot of companies making some decent stuff, and I gotta say it's got to be better than having nothing. This particular unit started out life here. It's got quite a bit of stuff attached to it now. It's a Black Hawk. It's their low-end vest, their low-end chest rig. You know, it's a Rhodesian style, just covers the front of your chest. You can see here, it's not very big. I mean, it's not much more than the size of my hand. It's not very heavy. It carries the weight really well. This one's a modular, got tons of PALS webbing all over it. I mean, anything Molle compatible will go on it. This one's was around $70. It's a decent entry-level rig. And then I've built on it from there with things that I've found that I need or I want on my rig to support me. But you can buy an entry-level rig that carries, and I think reasonable, having 4 to 6 magazines, I think is more than adequate. This particular unit carries 6 magazines. It originally came with bungee retainers and a little strap. I felt it had too much retention. It made it too difficult to do a mag change, so I opted to take the bungees off. These sit so deep, sit so snug in the pocket, and there's some rubberized backing that provides enough traction that I haven't had trouble with losing a magazine. And then I've added some different gear over time that I felt that I needed or I wanted to make me feel more comfortable that I had everything I needed. So yes, you can buy a chest rig in the $50 to $70 range to carry some magazines. And if a chest rig is too much for you and you just don't want to deal with the emotional thoughts of running a chest rig, you can buy a simple bandolier to carry rifle magazines. They got some real simple bandoliers that can hold 2 or 4 magazines. You know, you can throw it on, retain it. They're in the $30 to $40 range. I have an example here. I have one that I use and it works quite well. Here is a simple bandolier, goes over the shoulder, holds 4 magazines, has a waist strap to retain it. Minimal. All it carries is 4 magazines. Having something like this could be crucial. It's very inexpensive and very effective. The minimum piece of gear I think you should have is a magazine pouch for your rifle. Yeah, these are 32 round Uzi mags, in case you're interested. This was a setup originally intended for an MP5, but works pretty good for Uzi stuff. So there are other options to the chest rig. There's the bandolier, and I think carrying 4 magazines I think is fine. You know, I think 6 is a lot. You know, I don't think you need to be carrying, you know, 12, 15 magazines and weighting yourself down. The whole purpose is to be light and have what you need to be effective. And I've been running this rig for a while. I mean, obviously I could probably afford a little nicer rig, and I can. But I wanted to buy a basic entry-level rig and do a test and build and see if I could build up on a base platform and see if it could be effective. And buy different pouches and configure it over time and start with a base model from a manufacturer and see if it would work, and this would be a good option for other guys. And I gotta say, this has been a pretty successful rig. What I'm running on my rig here, this large pouch here, this is a side hydration pouch from Blackhawk. Obviously there's no hose coming out of it. I really wanted this to work, but the side hydration was it got too complicated. The hose routing and the issues. The pouch I love, but running the bladder just didn't work. So I opted to keep the pouch, and inside the pouch I'm running a good old canteen. So I wanted hydration on my rig. Running the hydration system didn't really work the way I wanted it to, so we're just running a canteen. I know this is not a canteen pouch, but I like the pouch, so why buy another pouch if this pouch works well? Okay, then on top of that, then we got on this pouch here, I'm running my batteries. Spare batteries are important, especially if you have an optic that runs on batteries. Nothing worse than running out of batteries, especially if your optic runs out of batteries, and your flashlight. So I'm running this pouch here, and I got my pull-out battery pouch. I got AAAs here, the whole AA's also. I need AAAs and my 123s. Right there where I can get to it in a hurry. Also on the side here, I'm running a small flashlight. It's a Streamlight Stylist Pro. Great little light, very rugged, very small, lightweight. That's just a little extra light for me right there, utility light. Here I'm running a multi-tool pouch. I think multi-tools are fantastic. This is a Super Tool 300. See those right there. Nice tight pouch. I mean, you can set your chest rig up any way you want. I mean, I got some Velcro on here so I can run some patches. This is just for fun. This doesn't have to be here. This may go away. I may run a small utility pouch there. I got my med pouch. I think some first aid is important. So I highly recommend a first aid pouch. If you do nothing else, maybe just a chest rig and a first aid pouch. And that might be all you need. I've also added a couple magazine pouches. Now, I run a pistol belt and I run pistol mags on my pistol belt. So my pistol belt is a standalone. If I have this on, it just supplements what I already have. If I were to lose this, my pistol still has magazines, and I run my backup sights tight on here just in case. So this is my chest rig. This is a basic model, which I have added to over time. So you do not have to spend $300, $400, $500 to get a chest rig that works. You can start with a base model and build from here, as I did, with things that you find that you need. For me, I felt some hydration was important. I always like to have a multi-tool with me. First aid, everywhere I go, I got first aid. You know, being able to carry some magazines for my rifle. I wouldn't go out without a way to carry spare magazines for my pistol. Why would I go out without a way to carry spare magazines for my rifle? So, my chest rig. If you can't say that, why? That's basically the question I'm asking tonight. There's simple bandoliers, there's simple chest rigs, there's vests. These are great pieces of gear that you can quickly throw on. This one will go on over just about anything you could wear. If you were wearing body armor, heavy clothing, whatever it is you wanted to wear, this would easily pop on, adjust, and it fits very snug, carries the weight extremely well against your body. And you're still very flexible, very movable. You can still get in all the positions you need to. So if you haven't got one, I would definitely consider getting some device to carry spare magazines for your rifle. Even if it's a pouch on your drop leg, a belt mounted device, look into something. There's quite a different options out there, from the simple bandoliers to carry some magazines for your rifle. This is my rig that I've worked on. I just wanted to share with you guys. I did this kind of as an experiment to see if I could take a base model from one of the manufacturers and see if it would be an effective rig. And I gotta say, and I'm not promoting the Black Hawk. There's several other options out there, some other companies, but you can get one of these base models and make an effective rig out of it. So pick yourself up a chest rig. Thanks for watching.